I guess we'll already slowly start. The remainder, anyways, will be posted in the chat and our social media as a recording. I would like to, first of all, apologize for my voice. I'm a little under the weather, so hopefully we wouldn't have any issues with understanding and myself speaking. Also, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whoever is joining us. Thank you for making the time and for sending the questions. In general, we appreciate you joining us today. I would like to just to give a bit of a plan for the call today. So the idea is for me to first introduce myself and hopefully get to speak to you as well in the Q&A session at the very end. But the idea is for me to introduce myself, my experience, and what we're planning to do with Definder. On top of this, we would like to explain to you what has already been done and the step that we've taken towards analyzing everything and auditing the development of the platform over the past couple of years. Share with you the plans, and then jump straight into the questions. Following the questions that we picked from the chat, we would go into the open Q&A where if anything needs to be elaborated or if participants join a bit late, we'll have 15-20 minutes to answer certain questions that people might have outside of those that have been asked in the chat. All right, so let's just move straight into the presentation. I mean, Lilia, thank you for putting this slide together. Not a big fan of my pictures, but a bit about me. I'm of Russian, Ukrainian, Swiss mix of nationalities. I grew up mostly in Ukraine and in Russia. However, I've been in my teenage years studying in Switzerland. I've spent my whole educational and working career in Switzerland, working in private banking, consulting, and fintech fields. My educational background is in business administration and hospitality from one of the leading universities in the world in this field. I've got my education focused on finance and real estate valuations. Started my career in a company in Switzerland in fintech. We were selling core banking systems for some of the leading private banks. And throughout my career, I worked with entrepreneurs, developers, both in consulting side where we help them structure funds, as well as hands-on sales and development of real estate properties and hospitality assets. I'm very passionate myself about real estate. Over the past 4 years, however, my career was mostly in Web3 and fintech, where I developed certain projects and was a part of large technology and token digitalization DeFi projects. Let's say this. I've been very active in this field, and I've got in contact with Lilia and the Definder team. We had a very interesting discussion regarding the Definder. I was helping on a consultant basis, and then we came to an agreement for me to take the role of the active CEO and to put my ideas and my vision of the company to reality. So what we've done is we have did a detailed due diligence of everything that has been developed with Definder and Smart Lands over the past years. It was a bit of an effort to consolidate everything through different CEOs and teams. However, we did quite a good job of putting everything together. Also, we had to bring up the newer regulations and see how we have to restructure the system in order to be in line with these regulations. So this effort was quite Spartan, if I may say. And at this point, I believe that we have put together a very strong plan and vision of what we would like this platform to be. On top of this, we have already allocated certain budgets, and the process of development have started. So because of this, the activities in the group haven't been as active as we would like. It took a lot of admin work, but moving forward, we are really looking forward to sharing our vision and trying to keep more regular updates, not only updates, but tangible features and the projects on the platform. So as a quick introduction, this is what has been done and this is who I am. And now we'll start moving towards the questions and the plan, what we're trying to build with Definder. So to the first question that got the most likes, I assume that's what people would like to know the most, is do you have a plan to put deadlines to upcoming changes, new functionalities in the project? How do you plan to revive the project that didn't create any profit in more than 5 years? It's an excellent question. This was one of the first things that we were discussing. And what we're planning to do is we need to develop an ecosystem which would be in line with what the real estate developers expect from the financial partner, what the token holders and stable token holders expect from the revenue generation perspective, and something that would be in line with the current legal infrastructure. So in order to make sure that we are covering all the needs of all the parties involved, we've created a vision which includes the updated and improved DAO voting system, which would act as a filter and a decision-making protocol for major decisions and projects within the Definder system. So the DAO, to those that are not familiar, is essentially a decentralized organization which takes all the decision based on the voters. So we will dive deeper into how we will structure the DAO and what will be the benefits of the DAO later on. In addition, what we're doing, we created a plan for a reward system, which is a tier-based reward system for token holders and system participants, which means that the more you are involved with the system and the more you stake the tokens and use the tokens, the more rewards you will receive, financials and otherwise. The benefits would range from small rewards like just tier-based voting system or more weight to the voting side, all the way to free trips to the properties that we have invested in. So right now with certain developers that we're discussing partnerships with, we are asking to have 1 or 2 weeks per year on the properties that will be listed on the platform to be given to us in our community for usage, meaning that our investors in these properties will have the right to travel and stay in these amazing properties for free. This is something that we're exploring and we would like to offer in terms of rewards. Additionally, of course, for staking the tokens, we are expecting to provide more token benefits and more rewards for the users. And lastly, we are looking to build a lending pool functionality, and that has been built to a certain extent in the previous version, but we're trying to bring it up to date and simplify the process, which will allow users to find the strategy that they like, meaning there will be multiple lending pools, which will allocate and highlight strategies for which they would invest in, meaning one pool, for example, will be targeted towards smart and innovative real estate, such as non-fixture homes, pod hotels, automated retail stores, automated pickup stations, or automated warehouses for Amazon and e-commerce. And this pool will only allocate funds to these projects and to certain partners which fit the criteria elaborated in these projects. If any of you have background in traditional finance, this would be what a traditional fund would be structured as. So different pools will have different strategies, and it will provide an advantage to our investors and users to allocate funds or stake, let's say, the funds under which strategy that they like, and not require any further actions from them. The lending pool will generate and provide interest rates for those people that allocate there, and will make sure that the DAO filters out the projects based on the voting system. Hopefully this introduction made a little bit of sense. If necessary, we can dive, of course, much deeper into these points, and I will be happy to do so if something was not 100% clear. I understand it's it's a bit of a wide and complex ecosystem to grasp just as quickly. So moving on into concrete plans and what we're aiming to do in 2024. So since January, we have a team expansion. It was also a part of somebody's question. We are hiring a marketing director with experience in crowd lending and DeFi. We are expanding the team and contracting a legal partner who helps us structure, apply for licenses, and make sure that the language on the platform is in line with what the regulation, whether it's European or global, expects from projects such as Definder. Additionally, we have already done the audit and the technical plan of what has been done and what needs to be done in the upcoming months. And last, we are starting to have a development process of integrating this new voting system, new reward systems, and simplifying the UI on the platform itself. When I talk about the platform, I talk about decentralized application of Definder. Towards the April, we plan to have full DAO running and operational. We expect the first project listing to be somewhere either late March, between March and April. This is where we expect the first projects to be listed. We're trying to start with smaller projects so that our community has enough, I would say, purchasing power to cover these projects. We want to make sure that we can bring these projects to fruition. So we're going to start smaller, and then every other month we're going to post more and more projects, develop other ideas, and expand on the operations, not only on geographical, but also in the real estate segments. For the July, as a second development effort, we're planning to create the lending pool functionality that I briefly explained earlier, that will allow for more passive investments rather than active participation in project selecting and the manual investments in these projects, and expand into more and more, as I mentioned, alternative real estate opportunities. If so requires, we are also prepared to apply for the license. There's two potential licenses that we're currently exploring. There's the digital asset management license, and then there is the crowd lending license. These two licenses will provide completely different functionality and opportunities, both for Definder as well as the community. The decentralized aspect that we're currently trying to build does not require any licenses for us to make it a reality. However, we are considering applying for a license just to make sure that we have more businesses, more interesting opportunities that we can bring to the community. And lastly, towards the end of the year, we're looking to raise the value of the token to at least 20 cents. This is the benchmark that we're aiming for. Expand the team further. We would need real estate professionals to constantly vet the business ideas. We would like to have a sales team and partnerships team within the project. This is something that we're going to be working towards, and we're going to try to, first of all, keep the cost to the minimum. However, we also want to scale. Scalability is what we are trying to achieve, and this is what the goal of first year is to build the foundation on which we can scale further. So this is a small visualization of the architecture of the system. I'll run through it quickly, and if necessary, this would also be posted in the group. And of course, these slides will also be provided to the group as well, so that if anybody wants to review them later, they'll be available. So the system architecture will be quite simple. The user can buy DNT token either on a decentralized exchange or centralized exchange, and then they store it in MetaMasks. Once the user logs in with their wallet into Definder app, they are considered a registered user. A registered user will have already a power of the vote equivalent to $1,000. So as long as you're a registered user, you can already vote on the DAO. If you allocate more funds or purchase more DNT into the wallet and stake the DNT in the wallet, your voting power in the DAO will also increase, and you will get more benefits from each vote. These bonuses include, as I mentioned, more weight into these opportunities to stay in the locations which we'll invest in, opportunities to gain more tokens and rewards from these votes, and also getting points towards the tier-based system. Tier-based system is a simple mechanism of, let's say, bronze, silver, and gold. Each tier provides more weight to the vote, as well as gives more rewards from the system itself with every investment and the system activations. Further, as soon as the user is registered, they will have access to the DAO and to the project marketplace, as well as to the lending pools. So the idea of the DAO is every project that we will send to the DAO is a project that we've already negotiated, reviewed, and we will present the project charter, so to speak. So the breakdown of the location, the expected returns, the strategy on the project, financial information, everything you would expect from a real estate investment will be listed on the DAO. And then the participants in the DAO will vote whether they want to take this project for financing or not. Voting itself does not force you to invest in a project. It just makes sure that the project gets listed to the marketplace or gets listed into one of the lending pools. So this system is in place to make sure that every project that we bring into the platform has been cleared by the users in the platform. Further financing and marketing efforts will be required in order to complete these projects, but this is completely on a different operational side of the business. So if the project passes the vote, we open a multi-signature wallet for each individual project. Each individual project will be financed through this individual wallet, either through lending pools or through direct investment through the project marketplace. Multi-signature wallet will have access from the Definder team, from certain independent companies or auditors or legal entities. They'll make sure that the withdrawals and the entries to the wallet have been cleared by multiple responsible parties to limit the risks and to increase the security for all the users and for all the investors into these projects. And the returns from the wallet will be sent directly either to the MetaMask of the user or to the lending pool, and then from the lending pool into MetaMask of the user. So most of this is measured by controlled by smart contracts, and to make sure the whole process is optimized and the users don't need to do anything besides select the project that they like or select the pool that they like, invest into this pool, and get their returns back. So how is the financial situation? Is there any money left for development of the product further? How long until you run out of money without new investments or proper income from product? So currently we have a relatively good amount of money left, and we have enough to develop the backend system, and we have enough to develop the first development steps of the excuse me, of the functionality that I just explained with the DAO and the lending pools. On top of this, we have about $100,000, which are allocated towards marketing, influencers, and etc. So in terms of budgeting, we're quite well prepared, and the budget it's about 95% complete for the year. So this budget is intended to grow the project and to develop the IT ecosystem, as well as to promote the token. These two questions are relatively the same. That's why we put them together. More hobby for you, or is it a full-time job? So for me, this is my job. I'm involved in this project for majority of my time. We have an agreement with the founders where my reward system is based on the performance of the Definder platform and on the token. So my incentives are in line with the incentives of users and our community. My goal is to bring revenues to the platform and to bring growth to the token. And this is exactly what we're trying to do by improving the system, making the marketing, and making sure that we scale further. The detailed plan is something that we've already provided, not detailed, but on the roadmap. And there's been a brief explanation what we're trying to do. If you're interested to get a step-by-step, play-by-play plan, we will have an updated white paper that will be listed within this or next week that explains all the steps of due diligence, all the user journeys, all the project journeys. What is the ecosystem going to look like? The tokenomics, how's the value of the token going to be pushed, etc., etc. It's 20 plus pages of white paper that it took a while for us to put together, but I believe this document will be more than clear to provide as detailed plan as you want. However, if you would like a shorter summary, roadmap, of course, is there. We will have a shorter business plan, or let's say a white paper attached on the website as well. And on the decentralized applications, we will provide a FAQ as well as breakdown of all the documentation of how it works, with system architecture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anybody who's interested, they can go as deep as they would like, or they can just get an overall view. All of this documentation will be available in open source and for everybody who is interested. Nowadays, DNT has a liquidity problem. It has a low volume. There is a big sell pressure at $0.57 treasury lockup, correct? And none wants to buy or sell in a loss, I take it. What are your plans to solve this issue? Well, this is a very good question. The goal for us is to increase the value of the token. The only way to increase the value of the token is to make sure that the token is in high use and it has a good use case. The use cases that we're currently developing are not only around rewards and voting rights, but also around having value on staking the token and investing through the token, which yields more returns if you invest in DNT rather than in USDT, for example. However, the actual large jumps, what we would like to do is to also list the token on a larger exchanges further down the line and create more interesting pairs with partners which have positive synergy with DNT, meaning further down the line, we would like to redevelop and expand in the ecosystem. But this is a bit too speculative to say right now because we don't have a clear vision on exactly what it's going to be. But the easiest way to elaborate on what we are planning to do and how we're planning to raise the value of the token is to bring very interesting projects to you, incentivize users to participate in the system, create smart and interesting marketing efforts, and make sure that the staking and the usage of the tokens is rewarding for the users. And this is what we're aiming to do. Regarding the treasury lockup, at 0.57, not the full treasury sold immediately. There's systems in place to make sure that it's sold in tranches, not to have large chunks of demand dropped from the marketplace. So, of course, we have certain systems in place and lockups in place to make sure that there isn't one participant or participants that will sell as soon as we hit that target, and we are planning to reach that target. So welcome. The Smartlands platform with its perfect tokenomics made most of us excited for this project. Is there a chance to revive the platform? I believe so. I truly do. I think we have a very interesting plan in place, as I elaborated. Regarding the token, I already explained. One thing that I forgot to mention is buyback and burn. And this is something that we're planning to implement. And additionally, we also have a system in place that all the revenues of Definder, from listings, from from system fees and network fees, half of those will be completely burned to make sure that less tokens are in circulation. I believe people that are on this call are aware of what burning is. If not, I'll be happy to elaborate in Q&A further. What are your personal thoughts about past moves of SLT to DNT, do you think the loss of trust by the community that followed this is deserved? How will you earn the trust back? I cannot take accountability for what has been done by the people before me. I know that there's been some geopolitical issues involved with the previous CEO as well, him being from Russia and the team being mostly from Ukraine. Outside of this, I believe that some of the system participants or the last team have been preoccupied with certain family matters and other businesses. So unfortunately, I cannot elaborate further on this. However, me personally, I like to believe that I believe in the transparency and honesty. So I'm trying to give you as much visibility as possible on what we're planning to do. I will try to keep you with the updates as much as possible, not just me, but Lilia and other team members. We would like to show you the projects and the ideas and how we approach the real estate valuations and try to be as open as possible with the community. And hopefully this will, the results as well as good projects and good developments in the portfolio will be more than enough to earn the trust back, but only time will tell. So what is the long-term aspirations for the project? Is it still centered around property or has that changed? It is indeed centered around real estate. I believe the core of the current opportunity that we have is providing financial support or financial shoulder to projects which are fast growing, fast moving, and they need a fast partner. I come from the real estate industry, and I know the frustration where you have an interesting property location that you need to put a down payment on. And then in order to put the down payment, you need liquidity, or you need the loan from the bank. And the bank takes 6 months to review your application. This is just not feasible. And large portfolio owners, as well as smaller businesses in the real estate field, all come into the same issues with these large organizations, that they're just not flexible enough. They ask too many stupid questions. They don't like to look at something different. They're happy to look at something that they know, like 25-story apartment building that is already developed and that provides them, 2% interest rate. Even if the project is more interesting, like a greenfield investment or a value add, a lot of banks will not even look at these projects just because they consider them too risky, or they don't want to understand these projects. Where we have an advantage is we are happy to take a look at these projects. We're happy to take the time to make sure we understand the risks, to understand the vision, to put in place safety nets, and to move forward with these fast real estate opportunities, where not only can we provide financing for real estate assets which have maybe half a year turnover or a year turnover, or maybe a 2-year turnover, which are considered exceptionally fast real estate opportunities. But on top of this, we can use these buildings and these projects that have already been developed. For example, pod hotels, it's easiest to elaborate. These are non-fixture hotels. Maybe you've seen like pod hotels or minivans. It's also called glamping. It's a very lucrative hospitality field. However, banks are not providing loans for these businesses at the moment. And the businesses generate about 36 ROI per year. And the break-even period is about 8 months. And the reason why the banks are not providing the loans is because they don't understand the underlying value. They cannot collateralize the land because the land is non-fixture. So for these small businesses, the banks are just not going to take a look at. For us, it's a maybe $100,000 investment with a payback period of 6 months, where the return on the capital of our investors would be within 6 months and will be a double-digit return. I believe this is a very attractive business opportunity if the due diligence is done correctly. And there's more investment opportunities in this fast and innovative real estate field, like ghost kitchens, staffless gyms, staffless shops, automated pizza making machines, automated hamburger machines, automated pickup stations, and so many more. And there's a lot of people who are looking for loans in these fields, and our job is to bring these exciting business opportunities to our community. So yes, indeed, I believe this is a very interesting field, and we're eager to bring you very interesting opportunities here. the largest rebuilding projects known to mankind will be needed in the Ukraine after the war is over. Are you setting up shop to start this in Ukraine? How about UK? Yes, in Ukraine, we are eager to invest and to list certain projects from Ukraine. Me personally, with my business partners, as well as certain of my colleagues and dear partners and friends, we all have real estate projects in Ukraine. And if it wasn't for the risk factors, we would be listing them right now. However, we don't believe that the demand for investment in Ukraine is there at this moment. However, as soon as we see the light at the end of the tunnel, we are, of course, going to focus on building, rebuilding, financing, value adding, providing support, and going to be doing as many things as we can with the Ukrainian market, because this rebuilding effort will not only be a great thing to do humanitarily, it will also provide an incredible opportunity for real estate investments. This is where you can find upsides of 30+% on your capital investment within a year, 2 years, 3 years. That's why companies like BlackRock and JP Morgan are already buying rights to build in Ukraine and finance the rebuilding in Ukraine. So we would like to be a part of these efforts, and we have already a list of projects that we're happy to list as well with the community. If you find that you're already interested to find out more about Ukrainian real estate, and you already feel that you are interested in investing in real estate in Ukraine, please do let us know. We'll be happy to share what's going on in Ukraine, show some real estate numbers, figures, opportunities. We're very much open. Regarding UK, we're currently discussing with one large UK asset manager that have about 200 million, I believe, AUM in real estate properties across UK. They're looking to list a part of their portfolio with us. We're reviewing certain things in the UK. There's a few complications with the financial authority that we're trying to iron out and understand the risk factors as well as the licenses that we require to operate successfully in the UK. So we are happy to work globally. However, we also would like to bring the opportunities that bring the most return for investment. And UK is a very mature market, so it's quite tough to generate double-digit interest rates for our investors. And this is what we're trying to provide for all the lending opportunities and investment opportunities on the platform. We're aiming to at least generate, 10% annually on all the investments, not considering stake in reward, etc. So just on pure investments, this is the benchmark that we're aiming for. So with the UK, we will see. That's probably the best way to answer it. Right now, voting on the projects means cashing out DNT to USDT. So future DNT value increases are lost in the voting. Are you going to make the economics of DNT better again? As I elaborated, yes, we are planning to focus on votes only in DNT, or provide more value of the votes in DNT outside of staking mechanisms, voting rewards and bonuses that I already quickly elaborated on. All of this will not only provide a real value for the DNT token, but also will have, I believe, an interesting incentive for our DNT token holders, that if you do hold their token, you'll have an actual opportunity, for example, to travel to Bali, or to stay in the apartments, hospitality, or like pod hotel in Norway, or have a Airbnb apartment ready for you in Barcelona. So these are the kind of bonuses that we're also looking to bring. So show that your investments are not just on paper, but you can actually travel to these locations. And we would like to help our community travel to these locations and explore and provide these bonuses to our token holders. When will there be the first investment project on the platform? So as I briefly mentioned, we're in negotiations with multiple development teams as well as portfolio owners. Some are in Bali, some are in the Baltic region. We have some in the UK. We have some across Cyprus and Spain. There's a lot of interesting real estate opportunities and companies that we're in negotiations with. What we're aiming to do is we're aiming to list the first project as soon as we have launched the updated DAO voting system and the updated UI and UX. So we want to make sure that the user experience is as simple as possible, as straightforward as possible. Within a couple of clicks, they can invest and they can extract their funds. They don't need to do 10-step verifications and things like this, which a lot of other platforms make you jump through. We want to make it as simple as possible. You connect your wallet, you find a project you like, you buy DNT, and you invest, or you invest directly with USDT if it's more comfortable for you. And then if you want to go further, if you want to go into the voting and you want to understand better the system, there will be all the information, all accessibility for the users to do so. So once we have this done, and hopefully we'll get this done by the end of next month. So Q1 is the goal to update the full IT infrastructure. And as soon as it's done, we already have 2 or 3 case studies regarding the real estate properties, which we will post in a group. These case studies will show you what kind of properties and what we offer to these properties and property owners. And if the community already likes and we get a good feedback that, yes, we like these properties, this investment seems like an interest to us, then these properties will go into the marketplace directly. If we get a feedback that, no, this is too little or too expensive, or we don't understand, then we'll have to go back to the drawing board and propose to use some more interesting opportunities, such as, staffless gyms, ghost kitchens, pod hotels, etc., etc. So we have a list of different opportunities that we would like to bring to you, and we will try to communicate clearly to understand which ones are more interesting, which one are less interesting, and try to find the ones that are first and foremost are of interest for investors. Of course, we will then have marketing efforts on top of this, but my goal is to bring something that is of value to our community. All right, so I guess this was the last question. I hope this was not too complicated and I made things clear. If anybody has any questions, by all means, I'm happy to take the questions now and take maybe 15-20 minutes to answer any outstanding questions. So either just raise your hand and let us know. And maybe Lilia, do you mind moderating, seeing who might have any questions? I believe there's a possibility for people to unmute, or how does it work currently?
Yeah, I believe they can unmute themselves or just type the question in the chat box, like in our chat, and we can just read and answer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, do any of you have any questions? Maybe they want to know something more about our vision, our team, project, whatever it is. I'm happy to take it. No need to be shy.
Hi, Max. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Hi. Great. Question about the direction towards or away from SMEs in portfolio and how that plays a role. That was an attractive avenue in the past to get involved with early stage entrepreneurs. Is that still in the roadmap somewhere?
That's a very good question. No, unfortunately not. The biggest reason is not that we don't want to. It's on a legal basis. When we're reviewing investments into equity, which is what the investments into entrepreneurs is considered, it's currently requires a asset management license, which we are not able to do on a scale above $1 million. So below $1 million, we're able to offer essentially anything. But as soon as we hit that threshold of $1 million per year, we are only allowed to focus on lending. We're no longer allowed to do equity. And this creates complexities with scalability because we have to think about the future and the fact that we have to specialize in something and we have to be more, we have to have a structured business model from which we can scale further. This is where we are focusing on lending and on real estate. However, we might have some opportunities that we will present in the equity side. And these opportunities with entrepreneurs will be structured in special purpose vehicles, and will have a separate, let's say, vertical on the website, not on decentralized application, but on the website, where our investors will be able to invest. But I would say this would be more a speculative rather than core business. Did that make sense, Alert Bill?
It does. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, it's not the answer I was hoping for, but I understand where you're coming from. Another question, unrelated, is the community engagement has gone down quite a bit over the last while, and you mentioned you had a marketing budget. Is that marketing budget going to be activated quickly to try to spur excitement again, not within our community, but in the broader crypto sphere? Or are you planning on reserving that marketing fund to when things really get going on the platform? Which comes first?
So there's two strategies regarding marketing that can be seen, and we're currently discussing with our potential marketing head, let's call her CMO, who we might introduce as soon as we finalize our discussions. So the marketing budget could be used to generate hype, a short-term hype that generates, maybe some ups on the token value and no intrinsic value for the platform itself. It's just something to bring attention to the platform. This could be done, and this is done at the same cost as the second way to use the budget. So the second way is what we're aiming to do, is we're aiming to build a system which will retain users. And what we're going to do is we're going to attract users not only to the Definder ideas and learning points and teaching points that we're going to share of how the real estate is tokenized, how the real estate is valuated, how the Definder ecosystem works, but also to bring people and to convert people into users and to investors. And for us to do so effectively, we need to have a system that functions at its core quite well. So we need to have a good user journey and user experience within the platform. We're aiming to finalize that within the first quarter, as I mentioned. But on top of marketing, there are things like PR, SEO, and language optimization, etc., as well as community management, posts. This is also part of the marketing budget that we're already using, and we're going to start using more effectively. Meaning we're going to make sure that the website and the decentralized application is optimized in terms of language and search engines. We're going to make sure that we have constant posts, and we're going to have more engagements. We're going to have more videos on all of our social media platforms. So all of these things will be done, but majority of marketing budget is allocated towards new customer acquisitions, which will start coming in play as soon as we have the core functionality online. I hope this was relatively clear. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, or maybe Bill, you have some other questions? You have very interesting questions so far. I really like your questions. All right.
Yeah, people seems to be shy.
Or maybe people are just listening on the background. But in any case, if there's any more questions or something is unclear, or you would like to get to maybe know me or understand our vision better, you have some ideas that you want to share where the platform should go in your view, or anything else that you want to add, always happy to connect and engage with you, either privately. Feel free to DM me on Telegram, or just send your questions or comments or concerns in the group, and we'll do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. All right, then. ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the time. I think it will wrap things up here. Lilia, if you could share the presentation with our community in the Telegram chat as well, so that they might have access to it if necessary. Otherwise,
yeah, I believe we will share everything in one pack, like with recap, questions, presentation, and video. So everything will be in one place, and anyone who is interested can just come join anytime.
Yeah, and once again, thank you all for joining. Was a very intimate group this time, and next time we're aiming to at least double in size, and hopefully we'll continue doing so with each individual AMA session. I would also like to propose an idea for those who are already on this call. Would, I don't know, quarterly calls, updates, or something along the lines of investment calls be of interest to you, where I'll make myself available once a quarter to elaborate on everything that has been done, as well as to answer any of your questions? Is this something that would be interesting to you? Do let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to, first of all, hearing your feedback and any questions.
Thanks, Max. Yeah, those quarterly info updates would be great to hear.
Bill, I really appreciate your participation. You're the only one who is active. I really like. You'll get the first reward just for asking these questions. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Wish you all a great day, evening, night, and we'll be in contact very shortly.
Thank you, Max, Lily.
Yep.
Thank you. All the best.